everybody, welcome back. Just leaving the farmhouse right now. 2 hours and 40-minute drive to work. After work I'm going to the hobby farmhouse, plant the last of the things in the garden and get it weeded. Well, I made it up here to the hobby farmhouse from work, and I've just been going through and weeding right now. There was quite a few weeds. I had to run the tiller down the rows, and I knew there would be. I expected to be here, come in here 4 days ago, but that was Melissa's birthday, so I stayed up there, and then things got screwed up with work, so I was up at the farmhouse for a couple of extra days, so I knew I'd have a mess when I got here. But it wasn't too bad. Lots of stuff is coming up really nice. But one strange thing here is this half row of beans. The first row, look, check that out. Like maybe one or two germinated, none of the other ones did. You can see the row behind it. All of those are up, and I think the first ones that I planted here were my Bush Lake 274s, and I have had trouble like that before, but this is ridiculous. Like none of it hardly germinated. The big kahuna beans right here on this side of the peas, they're coming up nice. I've got like a third of a row back there of them also, and they're coming up. It's just that one row, nothing really germinated. A bunch of these plants that I'm bringing from the farmhouse were really damaged by frost, and they're coming back now, but we had a day up there where it got down to, it was less than 30 degrees, and it froze a bunch of stuff. And then 2 days ago up there, I mean, that was like, say 10 days ago, and then 2 days ago, so 8 days later anyway, when I got home from work, it was 95 degrees. Like you can see right here, this is Dinosaur Kale. I like Dinosaur Kale because it's real hardy. I mean, it's just a meaty looking plant when it gets up there, but you can see here where the frost got it, that's dead. So they're stunted, and look at how root bound they are. If you ever buy plants like this and they're root bound, you got to break those roots up. That stimulates more growth. A couple weeks, these things will be taken off like crazy. What I'm planting here is early cabbage. This is a 50-day cabbage, so you get it even late cabbage. Grows really good here, but I like doing early cabbage, like early girl tomatoes, because you know, it's Minnesota, you just never know. You can get anything around that 50 to 60 day mark, you know you're for sure okay. Next up, I've got some kohlrabi here, 6 of those. With the cauliflower, you do them 18 inches apart, and with kohlrabi, you can do them down to 12 inches. I really like kohlrabi, but they all get ready at the same time. And like with cauliflower, you can freeze it, and a lot of the stuff, we're going to put a whole new freezer in up at the farmhouse out in the garage and just freeze vegetables and put them in there. as well as do canning, but you know, you're not going to be canning cauliflower. I like to make a little indent around them like this, and then I can come in here with just a flower type waterer and fill that up with water and let it sink in. I'm going to watch how these plants do here. Since they were hit by frost like that, after just like a few days here, I might want to hit them all with Miracle Grow. If I ever have a plant that looks sickly or whatever, I'll shoot it with some Miracle Grow, and it's just amazing how it just springs them back to life. Next we're going to do some Brussels sprouts, and those you're going to want to plant about 18 inches apart also. And like when I say with the Miracle Grow, you can be the type of gardener that hates using any kind of chemicals, and usually I don't have to use hardly anything. But when it means wasting your whole season not getting anything out of that plant, or giving it something that you know is going to kickstart it again, I'm not against that. Why waste the whole year and not have anything versus getting a good harvest? Well, this here is a different kind of Brussels sprout I've never planted before, called Jade Cross E. I have no idea. 90-day maturity, so they're late, but they always are. Usually I never want to pick Brussels sprouts until after the first frost or even the first snow, because give them the full growing season, and then also that's when they kind of get sweeter or whatever as it gets cold out. One of the little things in here has a one thing of dill, so I'm definitely going to plant that. And then I'm going to finish this row out with some more cabbage. Like I said, we just bought a lot of stuff, and then a bunch of it froze, so we had to buy more, and we just didn't know what was going to happen. So it was like, well, between the two gardens, we ought to be able to get it all in. And one reason why, well, a couple reasons why we are doing two gardens. One is, well, you know, if it wasn't for all the shutdown stuff, I'm down here more. And second of all, you know, we're doing the Bale Garden up in Cloquet, which is a whole different zone than it is down here. If you guys only watch Joe and Zach Survival, you're not watching the videos on Northern Seclusion, you have no clue what I'm talking about, so you'd have to go check that out. But down here we're a solid zone 4, and you know, a warm zone 4. Up there we are a zone 3, like a warm zone 3, but the weather is different because it's kind of a microclimate, because Lake Superior is there, and that kind of creates a bubble, and we're kind of right on that edge, so you never really know what's going to happen. With the Bale Garden, Melissa had great luck down in Louisiana doing that, and she's very good at it. But what's Louisiana? Zone 8 maybe? 9? I'm not even sure. I mean, she was southern Louisiana. So it's, you know, people do Bale Gardens up here, but it's just going to be a learning experience. I think it's going to do good, but if not, with all the crap that's happening and stuff getting short in the stores and something, it was like, you know what, let's do super good gardens this year, can stuff, freeze stuff, and just see what happens. Plus, I totally enjoy gardening, so, and I think it looks nice as a landscape in the yard. So now I have some viney stuff. Well, the cucumber is going to be viney. Bush crop cucumber is not. Zucchini is not. And I have a watermelon that really got hit bad with the frost, but there's one little leaf there, so I'm going to see if it'll take off. So everything you see growing over here is stuff that seeded itself from last year. I have no clue what it is. I know there's going to be, I know right here I had a bunch of cucumbers growing. Anyway, all of this stuff is stuff that got hit really hard with frost. And I mean, it even started to flower and everything. I was really stressed. So I'm just going to pop these in over here and let them fend for themselves and see what happens. This is kind of going to be almost the excitingest part of the garden because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to make it. I know that most of these are yellow. Just a straight neck squash. That's the favorite kind that we have, zucchini and the yellow straight neck. That's about the only ones that we really like to eat. So anyway, I'm just going to plop these in, and like I said, either they make it or they don't. This is a yellow or a golden dawn zucchini squash. Another yellow straight neck, another golden dawn, yellow straight neck, yellow straight neck, and yellow straight neck. So let's just push these all in. We have a few tomato plants to plant, and then planting is done. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching. The whole entire hobby farm garden has been planted. I did find a thing of celery that I did not plant, so I took part of this bean row, put that in here. When I come down here next week, I will plant new beans in the rest of that row right there. Everything is planted, everything's been watered in. It's time to let it grow. Already a few apples starting on the apple trees. Plums.
The greatest.
I will see you guys on the next video.